Hi, this is Tom. Today we'll be going to be working on the handle portion of the Boheme Satchel handbag. Pieces that you'll need are your two handle pieces. I've already got one prepped just to save some time. You'll also need your strap pieces. You should have two that are 4x30. We'll go ahead and work on those in just a little bit. And while we're at it, we will go ahead and do our connector pieces. You should have two pieces that are of your main fabric and one of your lining fabric. First thing you want to do is take your piece that you've already got your SF101 and your fusible fleece on. Remember, your fusible fleece is just on the center, so it's centered. You have about 2 inches on each side. You want to first fold your fabric in half, and then you want to once you have that done, go ahead and meet up in the center, one long edge, and then give that a good press. Once you have those all together, you go ahead and match your two folded edges together, and then give it another good press. You want to really set these folds. Now the instructions say to measure out, open this up, measure out 1.5 inches, draw your lines. I don't feel that's really necessary because you can really feel where that fusible fleece is. What you want to start your stitching is right just past where your fusible fleece is. You can feel there's a lump here. You want to start it on a straight edge, and then you're going to sew very closely to the edge of your handles, and you're going to stop just right past where you started. So let me go ahead and clip these together. They've been prepped. Let's go ahead and go over to the sewing machine. Alright, I'm back at the sewing machine now. I've go ahead and place my fabric under the presser foot. I can feel where this fusible fleece is, so I need to go up just a little bit. She says to mark it, and you'll have a mark there if you want to follow the instructions. I have done this bag a few times, and I know that I need to start just beyond that because you want to lock that in. And it's going to be hidden inside the bell connectors here in a second. What you want to do is get as close as you can. It's about 1/8 of an inch. Cut your threads. Alright, so let's go back up to my cutting table. Take you right up. Alright, back at my cutting table. I have our two pieces prepped here. What you're going to need are two pieces of plastic tubing. This is 3/8 inch outside diameter with a 1/4 inch inside diameter. Now I know some people will just open this up, and if you can do it, if you want to open this up, you want to open up between all the layers here. Let's see if I can get this down. Open up all the layers so that you're feeding it in between everything. And you want to put this through. Now I find this a little resistance because of the fusible fleece, and this is flexible. So, handy tip is to get yourself a 1/4 inch dowel. These happen to be 12 inches long. That's what I got them in the package. And I just insert it. Now you have a nice rigid piece of plastic here. Go ahead and feed this through. You've got a little resistance there, but as you can see, I'm able to really put all my force on it and push it all the way through. What you're going to feel is it's all the way to the end, and it's rigid right now. But once you get that in, I'll take a pen or something like that. Open this up, you'll see your little tube in there. I need to push my, if I used a longer dowel, I wouldn't have to push so much, but I just push it out enough to extend it. Go to the other side. Open up my fabric. I can see the end of that dowel and it just slides right out. So now you've got your plastic tubing installed. That's a nice tight fit. Still got the ends are loose here, which is what you want. Now if you're going to be not using the bell connectors, then you'd be almost done with this step until you get to your part where you would connect them to your bag. But I will be using the bell connectors. So let's go ahead, and I've got my other... so that your plastic tubing is completely covered by fusible fleece and fabric. And they're kind of straight right now, but once you're on your bag, you'll feel that they will be. You'll have the seam will go onto the bottom of the bag, or onto the bottom of the handle. Just like this. Now let's go ahead and get our bell connectors. If you ordered from Vicki from So You Need Hardware, you'll have different bell handles or bell connectors that I have, but I didn't have a chance to get them on time, so I was able to buy some at Hobby Lobby. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to push this through. Now you have extra length here just in case you don't have these connectors, and that you'd be able to fold under, fold in again so that you can add them to your other handles. But since we are using the bell connectors, we don't need this much fabric here. So what I'm going to do is trim it off to about an inch or an inch and a half out. So I want to do a little test fit to see if I've taken enough fabric off. What you want to do is squish it tightly. I don't think I have, because these connectors aren't as deep as the ones from Vicki, so I need to really cut off a little bit extra. Because you want that plastic tubing to go all the way into the, and you want to fill the end of the cap with the extra fabric. But you don't want to do is, before I did this, I want to make sure that test fit them. But you can see the holes are right here that you will have, and I've got them at approximately the same space. They're on one side of the bag. As you've got them on your bag, these are the end swivels, so you can have them any way, but that way the outside of the bag will show a smooth finish and it won't show your holes. Now what you're going to need it to do is, there's 2 screws that fit inside these holes. Believe me, first bag I made, it was not funny how hard it was that I had to do it. I actually had to go out and buy a small awl, and then what you want to do is you're going to poke these holes. You really want to you're going through plastic tubing, you're going through fabric. Believe me, this is probably the hardest part of this whole bag. Let's see if I can open it up a little bit more. Through it. So what you want to do is you want to take your screws. Your package will come with them. And this takes a while to do. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because it is not easy. You want to start those in the holes. Do the one. So you can see the screw. It does have a pointy end, but it doesn't really grasp anything but the plastic. Once you get that done, you'll go ahead, add your screws. There's 4 screws on each thing. So if I would stay here and show you how to do each one, I could be showing you how to screw in a screw for 4 hours. And believe me, it could probably take me 4 hours. That's no lie. I don't know why I have such a hard time with this, but I need to get a different screwdriver. This one actually isn't working. I need to find my small Phillips head screwdriver. So you've got, what I like to do is once I get them done is I like to go ahead and start training my handles to go into a U shape, because otherwise they tend to splay out. But if you start training that plastic vinyl tubing like this, once you put it on your bag and your bag's complete, your handles will already be trained into a U shape. So I've got the other one to do, but I'm just going to show you how to do one. Believe I'm not going to have you see me struggle with it. So get it. It took me a while, and I had to walk away from it for a minute. But okay, so the next step what we need to do is we're going to do the handle, the actual strap, crossbody strap of the bag. What you're going to want to do, put one piece out flat. You've got two pieces. You need this handle to be extra long, so it can go be a shoulder strap. You want to lay right sides together. What you want to do is from one end where the two meet to the other end where the two meet, I like to go ahead and draw a sewing line. Alright, I'm back at my machine. Let's go ahead and sew that seam. What you're going to do is, once you have that done, what you're going to do is you're going to cut right along this line, about a 1/2 inch. Alright, I'm back at my cutting table. We have our line that we had just sewn. What we're going to do is place my ruler on that line, so it's about a 1/2 inch according to the pattern. And then I will go ahead and trim that. Take off your excess. And then what you want to do is you want to press that seam open. We need to meet both edges, both long edges together, and we're going to press down the center. Okay, we've done that. And then what we need to do is we need to take each long edge and so I get it open here, and we need to meet these in the middle. So now we need to match our two folded edges together. So you've got two folded edges that are matching together. And the connectors are next. So what I like to do is while I'm at the pressing table, and because I have to sew the connectors in the same way as I do the handles, is I will go ahead and take my connector pieces, and we're going to go ahead and do that too right now. So I've got my fabric and my connectors, I got my handles, my straps and my connectors done, and let's go ahead and head over to the sewing machine. Alright, back at my machine. Got my handle strap right here. Not my handle, but the strap. Go ahead and start stitching along the long edge. Now I'm going to go ahead and stitch up my connector strips in the exact same way. What you want to do with each connector is you've got to have 4 of your main fabric, and you've got to have 2 of your lining fabric. So what we need to do is take each connector strip that we just stitched, take a pair of scissors, and cut each one in half. I just fold my hardware. What you need are D-rings. You'll need 4 D-rings for the connectors, and you'll need 4 or 2 D-rings for the strap. All right. So what you want to do with your strap, these are for your handle connectors for your front out of your main fabric. So you just add your hardware in. You want to fold this in half. As you can see here, this is encased. And then you can add you a little clip if you like to hold everything together. And you do that 4 times. So we've got 4 of those. Now you've got your interior fabric connectors, and what you have with that is you want to fold over approximately 1 inch, and then you want to meet these together for the interior, because you don't want any raw edges, because you'll be stitching these onto your interior fabric lining pieces. So you can see you've got 2 finished edges here, no raw edges, where with your interior or your handle strap connectors, your handles with the tubing, you don't. These will go on the outside of the bag, these go on the inside of the bag. Okay, next thing we have to do is we have to attach the rings to your strap connectors. So you want to get as close to that hardware as you can. I like to start somewhere in the middle, just because I don't want to start on the edge. Then I will back stitch all the way to the end, and then I will go forward again, ending about in the middle. I don't like the ends of my thread to be at the end of the fabric, because I'm always afraid that if that happens and if the thread breaks, then it'll just start unraveling all the way from outside edge in, where if you start in the middle, odds are not the whole thing will not unravel from one end to the other. Don't get these for the interior, don't get stitched yet. They'll get stitched when we get to that part. So what I would recommend, I forgot this part from what I did the last time, is I just flipped that out. But what you want to do is get you some fabric tack glue while you're making the bag. It's a good idea to do that now. That way the glue has time to dry. But you want these raw edges together, and they're going to go on the inside next to your lining, so it'll never show. But you want to glue those together, and then put these window clips or pins and set them aside to let them dry, because you will be stitching these and actually onto your lining, and that's what's going to hold everything together. Go ahead and find a swivel hook, hold over your raw edge, connect this together so you don't have any raw edges showing, and then stitch this closed. You've got the one, and then you need to find your slider. Fold this up, put on a trigger hook so you don't forget that. And then this goes back up and through. So essentially back up and then back down. It's hard to see. I'm having a hard time showing you guys here. Alright, so let's get a little extra here because I got lots of length. So here we go. We've got it through. I've got all this extra here. You won't have all that. You got your other hook slid in, and then back up and around, and then you have this as your raw edge. So what I'm going to do is pull this out just a little bit longer so I have enough room to tuck it under. I want my raw edges to show. And then we will go ahead and stitch this down. Close it. Thread, that's loose. Okay. Finish edge there, all the way up. There's your slider hook. It goes down. We inserted another swivel hook. And we went back up and under, and then encase the raw edges and stitch that closed. So, yep, that's correct. Now we'll be able to slide our strap to whichever length we want, and it'll stay secure. And that's it for the strap and handle pieces. Thanks for watching.